sa iyong pananalangin. There be no barrier whatsoever. Sir, Ginoo, that's a direct instruction from the Bible to you. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Don't do anything, sir, that will interfere with your prayer life. And let me say to the youth who were here last night and heard the message, let me repeat to you what I hope someone has already told you. That when the day comes that you want to marry, you do not, I say, do not marry a non-Christian. Kung magsugal ka dyan, if you gamble in that place, matatalo ka, you are going to lose that gamble. Unless there is a milagro. So I say to you, without any hesitancy, without any fear of rebuttal from you, do not marry someone who is not a Christian. It may last for a little while. But the true self always comes out. Now, some of you will be tempted because it is paraan ng panahon natin. Some of you will be tempted, though you are not married to this person, to start having sex with them. To start having intercourse with them, kahit hindi kasal. And some of you will even be tempted to move in and begin to live together, kahit hindi kasal. Because our time approves that. This generation approves that. It's okay. But again, I must say to you that you are playing with dangerous fire that is sure to burn you badly. I mentioned to several people last night, my daughter and a marriage counselor in Memphis have written a book called My Heart Got Married and I Didn't Know It. My heart got married and I didn't know it. In the early 1980s, I'll explain this to you in a moment. In the early 1980s, I had the privilege of meeting Dr. Mike McManus. Some of you may have heard his syndicated program on Christian radio. And I shared with Dr. McManus my findings as a pastor that people who have sexual intercourse before they get married, or people who live together before they get married, have only a 15% chance that the marriage will last. The wake-up call for me on this was there was a couple that started attending the church I was pastoring in College Park, Maryland. They'd been living together for 8 years. They'd been together for 8 years. They were not married. And so they decided, they started coming to church, they made a profession of faith. Nagpo-bautismo sila din, they were baptized. And in less than 1 year, they were divorced. They had been sleeping together for 8 years. But when they got married, they soon got a divorce. That is the typical result. Those who sleep together before they marry, the marriage will not last. My oldest daughter heard about this information that I was preaching about and teaching about. The book is called My Heart Got Married and I Didn't Know It. Unspoken Vows and Shattered Dreams is the subtitle. Written by Laura C. Jobe, that's my panganay, and Barbara U. Prescott, PhD, her co-author. If you are interested in this, and some of you parents are going to have to face this because this American culture is going to say to your children as teenagers, it's okay for you to shack up. If you want to write down the address where you can find it online, www.myheartgotmarried.com. www.myheartgotmarried.com or www.amazon.com. Again, the book, My Heart Got Married and I Didn't Know It. Because you see, what happens is, once it becomes legal, you make it legal in order to get a divorce so you don't have to stay together anymore. I told you last night, Satan would deceive you on every opportunity. That is one of the master deceits of the evil one in 2010. And so tonight, as I promised you, the focus tonight is the female reaction ng sagot ng mga babae sa salita ng Diyos. When the Word of God says, for this reason a man will leave his father and mother, parang sobra. Malakas ba doon sa dulo? Okay ba? For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh. And women reply to me, Charlie, I know what God said. Alam ko ang sinasabi ng Diyos sa Biblia, pero you see, mga babae, kayong lahat, mga bata, mga teenagers, the godly model in Genesis chapter 2 is contra cultura. It is against the culture that you live in. Kung uuwi ka sa Pilipinas, it's contra sa cultura doon. It is against the culture there. The godly model goes against the culture. Because the culture does not want to believe, nor does the culture want to follow the idea that when God, and maybe that's the key, yung susi, if God brings a man and woman together, magiging isa sila. Now, kung sa kanilang sariling decision, if it's just a decision they make, oh, I like her, oh, I like him. But if God is faithful to His Word, and He always is, to bring men and women together who seek His face, the possibility, the reality is there. Ladies, let me say to you that if you do not accept Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, you are going to marry, and for the rest of your marriage to that person, you're going to be confronting cultural limitations. Dahil mahangganan po, mahangganan sa kasal. Kumuko sa ating kultura. Or you are marrying a man accepting the fact that as long as you live, you will not be treated equally. Believe it or not. Kung gusto mo ayaw,